has really laid the message of prayer very strongly on your heart. How did that start?
It started about 10 years ago when I was diagnosed with a brain disorder, Amy. It came on me suddenly. My head just kept pulling to the right for no reason. And I would have to struggle and I would pull it back around. But then there it would go again. It would start to pull and tug. And I kept doing that. And I just made a trip to Alaska. We have relatives there. My husband's family, part of his family still there. And I just made a trip there and came back. And I thought, well, that's what's doing this, is because I made that long trip. But it never went away. And it finally got to the point where I was literally, it was just kind of stuck. And I went to my doctor and he immediately said, there's nothing I can do with this. Sent me to a neurologist. And without any small talk really at all, he said, well, this is a brain disorder. We don't really know what causes it. All we know is that we can give you shots in your neck muscles to help soften them. And you'll have to do that every 3 months for the rest of your life. And he pulled out 6 shots that he was putting in my neck. And after the 5th one, I started to pass out. And he said, okay, well, we won't give you that 6th shot, which was the best thing that he had said that day. And I was walking down the hallway at the hospital and he yelled down the hallway to me. He said, now be sure you set your next appointment for 3 months for your next round of shots. And I thought, oh my word, you have got to be kidding. I have to do this for the rest of my life. And I got in the car and I immediately thought, there's something wrong with my brain. But then the healthy part of my brain thought, God created my brain. God can heal my brain. And I started to pull away and my husband called me because we still had small kids at home. And he said, what did the doctor say? And I said, well, he said, there's something wrong with my brain. And he said, well, we already knew that. What else did he say? And so I laughed and cried at the same time, thinking, oh my word, what am I going to do? But I would determine then, Amy, I was not going to go back for more of those shots because they weren't addressing my brain disorder. They were only softening the muscle. It was basically just a Band-Aid on top of this brain disorder, just on my muscles. And my head continued to get worse and worse. It just completely locked over my right shoulder. And if there's a body part that isn't working, it affects your whole body, especially your head. And my whole body was in pain. I couldn't go to the end of the driveway to get my mail, push a grocery cart. Everything was painful. But here's the part that got me, Amy. And this is the part that made me mad and it made me sad at the same time. I would walk into my church and people would see me and they would come up to me and they would say, oh my goodness, what happened to you? Were you in a car accident? Did you have a major fall? You know, they would always ask me what happened and they would offer advice. They would say, well, did you go see Dr. So-and-so? Maybe you should go to this chiropractor. Have you tried these vitamins? You know, if you go down to the drugstore, they have this apparatus you can hook to your neck and you can lean over your bed and it will pull on your neck, and on and on and on with advice. And people would walk away and they'd say, well, I'm going to pray for you. And keep in mind, this was at my church, a very large church here in our area. They'd say, I'm going to pray for you. But no one at that moment ever prayed for me. And I never would have believed it if it hadn't happened to me. But no one in that church ever prayed for me. I would walk down the halls of our school. I would be in our grocery store. I would be taking a walk in the park with the kids, whatever. People would see me. And again, I'm disfigured, Amy. My head is stuck over my shoulder. People would ask what was wrong. Ooh, I'm going to say a prayer for you. But then they would walk away and no one prayed. And it made me so sad at the beginning. I was so sad. I would think, Lord, why aren't any of your people praying for me? But then after months of this, I thought, Lord, why aren't any of your people praying for me? What is going on here? And I determined I was going to fast because the Bible says fast and pray. And I thought, well, that's what I'm going to do. And I told my husband, I said, I'm going to fast. I've got to break this pain. I've got to be able to move my head again. And he said, well, how long are you going to do it? I said, I don't know until there's a break here. And I fasted for 32 days. And I would love to say that that was all mountaintop experiences, but it was mostly valley experiences during those 32 days. And I would do a combination of a total fast and the combination of the Daniel fast, where I would only eat a pure fruit or pure vegetable with nothing on it. And day 32, I got up. I could move my head. My pain was broken. And I've been on several fasts since then. And I tell people that I am 97% healed. There's still that 3% in there that is not right. I feel it right now. I know there's something wrong, but this brain disorder keeps me tethered to the Lord. This brain disorder gives me eyes to see other people when they're hurting and when they have a need. And now when I see someone in our Publix grocery store or in the parking lot of Costco, and I see them and I haven't seen them in a long time, or if it's someone that I don't even know, but I know there's something going on in their life, I'll say, can I pray for you? And I do that right then at that moment. And our problem as the church, Amy, is that we make prayer weird. We make it awkward for people. We think, oh, should I touch them? Do we close our eyes here? What do we do? No, you're already having a conversation with this person. You just start to pray. You just start to talk to God.